Hello and welcome to another episode of Timeless or Trash, the series where we take a look at a film and decide, is it classically timeless or is it just utter trash? I'm your host this week, James, and joining me are the ever so lovely
Ben,
Dan,
and Christian.
And this week on Timeless or Trash, we're going to be taking a look at James Bond, Die Another Day.
My friends call me James Bond.
It's the first ever Bond film that I saw. I enjoyed it as a kid. It was my introduction to the series, and yeah, I'd call myself a bit of a Bond fan now. Ben, what's your relationship with this film?
not the best. The film's treated me badly over the years. We've fallen out. I am a fan of Bond as a whole. I've seen all the Bond films, but you know, I'm a fan of Bond in general, so I'm looking forward to this.
Ben, can I ask you as well? Is it just my imagination, or are you dressed as James Bond today?
So I thought I've gone like a suave black ninja outfit.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? It would be really nice, Dan, if you weren't on mute when you talked.
I'll watch a Bond film, I'll enjoy a Bond film. Some of the older films are a little bit dated, shall we say. Die Another Day, I don't think I've seen it. The only things I do know about it is that it has an invisible car.
You must be joking.
As I learned from my predecessor Bond, I never joke about my work.
I've only ever seen 3 Bond films. I wouldn't say I'm particularly a fan of the Bond films, purely because, I don't know, James Bond just doesn't seem like a very likeable character.
He's not a character who's aged particularly well. So let's take it away. And for all of those who you are thinking, why are we watching Die Another Day in December? Why are we not doing Christmas films? 1, there's a lot of snow and ice. And 2, shut up. You fuck off, sure. Well, that was Die Another Day. It was certainly an experience, wasn't it, lads?
It was entertaining.
Was most certainly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, where to begin with it all?
It has a pretty good start, to be fair. It opens with them surfing and just appearing out of nowhere, and then they take their surfboards on land, and it turns out it's a Swiss Army surfboard.
Really inconspicuous. Massive surfboards.
Yeah, like how did they get
Oh,
there?
they're special surfboards.
Like, it's a bit daft, but I kind of like it because it makes sense. Like, to save them having like a big bag of gadgets, they have it in the surfboard, which they're carrying anyways. Like, the whole opening scene with the villain, like, it's a great way to intro the villain. Like, we see him kicking the punch bag and doing all that, so he's like, oh, he's a technically good fighter. And then he opens the bag and there's a person inside that. I remember as a kid being like, oh, so straight away, like, you know, this guy means business.
And then there was hovercrafts.
I just don't believe that anyone has that accurate of a control over a hovercraft.
Oh, look at that. They're all sort of... Isn't that elegant? Yeah, I hadn't seen this film before, and I had no idea what to expect. One thing I will say is that I was not bored. And let's start with the special effects. I mean, let's remember that The Matrix was released in 1999. Matrix's special effects still pretty much hold up, I'd say, to the day. Whoa. The effects in Die Another Day resemble like a PlayStation 2 game. Some of the green screen is really, really bad. There was that one shot of Halle Berry, and there's that one close-up of her where it's so bad. The CGI, there's one scene in particular, which I think we all know.
It's so good. It's cinematic history.
Power agreement.
What?
It's so
Oh
good.
God.
I honestly could not believe what I was seeing.
That it's something straight out of a modern Fast and Furious film.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of that is because a lot of budget went into explosions, like, and getting expensive cars that they can trash and blow up. So, like, we use The Matrix, for example. I imagine a lot of their budget went into, let's get the best special effects, whereas I imagine when making a Bond film, they're like, whack a green screen in the back, yeah, we can fix that in post, it'll be fine, no problem.
If you add together the budget for Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers and The Matrix is like only 17 million more than the budget for that Bond film. That Bond film cost 140 million.
Oh my
What's
days.
happened?
I mean, for all that we're slating the bad special effects, for which there were a lot of instances, it was still really good fun.
The fact that, like, when Bond flips his car that's upside down using the ejector seat is so incredible, and I can't believe it's taken this many Bond films before they've done it. Yeah! I love this so much.
What? The invisible car was mind blowing, wasn't it? It's like, what? And he barely used it. He used it to sneak around in. When he finally did have to use the car, the camouflage broke instantly. Oh, that's
It's
good,
not-
isn't it?
So it's failed.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy the fencing, like, sword fighting sequence.
Yeah.
I thought the sword fighting was fairly decent. It was a ridiculous scene, but it was a lot of fun.
You want to continue?
Of course I want to bloody continue!
As far as the story goes, though, in theory, it was quite intriguing, maybe?
Korean guy ends up faking his own death, becoming British guy, forms a company selling illegal diamonds to fund a giant satellite space laser that harnesses the energy of the sun to destroy parts of the planet. Why?
Was it to something for like Korea can be in power or something?
There was some throwaway line that gave away his motivation. I can't remember what it was now.
You see, Father, I remember my art of war. And this is what guarantees that victory.
Like, the whole idea of this North Korean lieutenant or general or whatever suddenly coming back into the plot as like a suave English guy with a totally different face.
So who is that, Danny?
Well, it's the guy from the start, isn't it? Who we thought died. Which is completely ridiculous.
No, Danny, he had a full DNA transplant. It makes perfect sense.
I know, like, this is a film with invisible cars and ridiculous stunts, and it's not realistic, but this was reaching a little bit. I loved as well that, like, the whole Bond thing about lasers starting off in Goldfinger, was it? And they've obviously gone, we didn't go quite far enough, let's just make the main peril of this film a massive laser.
Oh my god, we forgot about the laser fight.
Oh.
With Mr. Kill.
I'm Mr. Kill.
Well, there's a name to die for.
Mr. Kill? So lame.
Halle Berry chained up, just flailing around.
What on earth? Oh no.
Why is this a room? It also had Halle Berry's like best bit of dialogue where, like,
Yeah.
at that point where he's like, "Oh, I thought you didn't like to get tied up," and she's like, "Just get me out of here."
Yeah.
The girl who hates to be tied down, huh?
Are you gonna get me off this thing?
Talking to dialogue, Bond films traditionally, it's not that many puns really. It was like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 if I remember correctly. It's all puns, nearly everything they say. It's like everyone just talks in puns. I just can't.
There's never actually a conversation between two human beings, is there? It's like it's just constant banter back and forth.
It's the Roger Moore era turned up to about 11.
Here for the penguins this time? Or for the view again?
Right now, I'm only interested in endangered species.
Ooh, well, does that include me?
It's a very dated film in a lot of respects, in special effects, especially, but also just in
Attitude to women.
it just really is quite jarring to see these days that, like, the characterization of women and the fact that, you know, the women in the plot not once speak to each other, that, you know, there's never any scenes where that pass the Bechdel test.
Tell me what you know of James Bond.
From what I remember, and maybe I'm remembering them wrong, that's one of the better Pierce Brosnan films for women. Like,
I mean, yeah,
the
yeah.
other three are not good. Like, there's some awful lines.
But like when they fight, Rosamund Pike is just inexplicably like in like a bra and some black gloves, and it's just like, oh no.
You watch her get on the plane, and then she's not seen for the rest of that sequence until she jumps in her underwear with a sword, and it's like, why What were you doing?
There was that scene as well, wasn't there, where Bond is infiltrating the facility. There's a facility-wide alert, and he's trying to dodge guards left, right, and centre. Suddenly, Rosamund Pike pulls him into the shadows. Cut to full-blown, like, romantic sex scene. What? He was just there was just a huge facility-wide alert that he was running away from.
Yeah, and it's not even like they didn't see it was him. They absolutely saw out of the window.
It's like, wait a minute, what?
Shall we?
Do we think it's time, boys, to answer the question that we've all come here today to answer? Die Another Day, is it timeless or trash?
Trash, but would recommend.
Dan?
Yeah, never an easy decision. This film is straight up trash. It was the epitome of trash, but enjoyable trash.
See, I'm going to maybe throw a spanner in the works and say that because I still enjoyed it, and I would say it's as good as it's ever been.
As good as it's ever been.
Well, as in, like, I don't think time is the reason this is bad. I don't think this is aged poorly. I think this is as good as it always was.
I think you've given everything we've done timeless.
Fine, okay, Ben, do it. I'll call it trash. There, you happy now? You've made me
stick
do
to your
it.
guns, mate. Stick to your guns, lad.
Nah, it's trash. You've done it now. I'll call it trash.
You don't seem convinced, I think. I'm going to put timeless.
Yeah, I think it's timeless. I love it.
It's just going to be stamps everywhere. Timeless trash. Timeless trash, timeless. What is it?
Go on, Christian, round us off.
As someone who is not particularly fond of the Bond films, this film was still trash. It's not changing my mind on Bond as a character, definitely. But I had a lot of fun watching it and would recommend that other people, if they've not seen it, go off and give it a watch.
Well, there you have it. The spacemen from Pluto have decided that Die Another Day is trash. I hope you've all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe for more content. We should have more stuff like this weekly. And I think that's about it, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. Let us know if you think it's timeless or trash yourself. If you've got any recommendations, maybe other Bond films. Should we do another Bond film? Or any films in general, just let us know.
Yeah, and from us, see you later.
Bye. Oh.
See you later. What the fuck was that?